Let me just say this, shade be shade, but there is no amount of white people that can get on this app to tell me that Cullman, Alabama is not a sundown town for me to believe you.
People are upset with this Hallmark village because of the town's past. So in Cullman, Alabama, there's a place called Christkindl Market. It's essentially a yearly tradition where they turn part of the town into what looks like a picturesque Hallmark village. Now, the Christkindl Market is currently under a lot of fire on TikTok after it went viral because people are accusing the place that it's held in, Cullman, of being a sundown town.
Come with me to my Hallmark-inspired hometown.
Oh my God, y'all come to Cullman, Alabama. Oh, it's a Hallmark winter Christmas. We want to invite everybody. Well, not really everybody, because there's a little history to Cullman, Alabama, that after dark it becomes a sundown town.
There is no place in the South, because I've lived here all my life and gonna die here, that is not populated by Black people because we just don't like to be there. If there are no Black people in your little southern town, because there are more Black people in southern regions than any other reason in the U.S., it's because it's unsafe to be there.
Cullman, Alabama, a town known for its picturesque Christmas markets and festive charm, but there is a deeper story hiding between the twinkling lights. Well, this town was once a sundown town, with a history rooted in segregation and exclusion of melanated people. Recently, Cullman has come under fire on social media, especially from Black Americans who are calling out the attempt to rewrite its history by branding itself as a Christmas paradise. Guys, are we witnessing a town embracing change, or are we witnessing a town trying to erase its history? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you very much for choosing us today. If you're new to this channel, kindly consider subscribing, like the video, and drop me a comment of your opinion of today's segment. So I have a couple of videos that I've compiled for you of a lot of Americans who are calling out Cullman, Alabama for trying to erase its history as a sundown town and the segregation that still happens in the town up to date. So let's check them out, guys. I'm gonna be back with more commentary.
People are upset with this Hallmark village because of the town's past. So in Cullman, Alabama, there's a place called Christkindl Market. It's essentially a yearly tradition where they turn part of the town into what looks like a picturesque Hallmark village. Now, the Christkindl Market is currently under a lot of fire on TikTok after it went viral because people are accusing the place that it's held in, Cullman, of being a sundown town. Now, if you don't know what a sundown town is, I can't explain it in depth on here, but to put it very simply, it's a place that's not friendly if you have over a certain percentage of melanin in your skin. Now, these accusations come from years ago in the town. Put very simply, the town doesn't have a history of being friendly towards melanated people. Now, if you look at all the videos of the Christkindl Market, you can kind of see that nobody with melanin is going to this thing.
As someone born and raised in California, I had never heard of Cullman, Alabama. So I took a little look-see to see what everybody was talking about. And I have to be completely honest with y'all. Just based on what I saw, I didn't need anybody to tell me that was a sundown town. If you go to look at the videos that are trying to entice people to come to this town because of their little Christmas thing, you'll see all of them say Hallmark inspired, and baby, that'll do it. Like, quick question. How many Hallmark movies and TV shows, original programming, have super diverse casts? They're always located in some like remote mountain town, and there might be like one Black or one Asian person in the whole town. And these people are saying that Cullman is Hallmark inspired? Yeah. I didn't need anybody to tell me that I shouldn't be there. Words people choose to use on this app tell on them every single time. Every time.
Let me just say this, shade be shade, but there is no amount of white people that can get on this app to tell me that Cullman, Alabama is not a sundown town for me to believe you. I think this election alone told me enough that so many of you cannot be trusted. Not all, but a lot of you. And let's be honest, you're just not the right messenger to try to articulate to me why your town is not a sundown town, especially when there are Black people on this app who has had direct experience either driving through, living in, or having visited Cullman, Alabama to say the opposite. And there are historical records that would lean to me believing that it is exactly what everyone is saying it is, a sundown town. And I would implore you to look in the mirror with your blonde hair and blue eyes and question why you may not see your town for what it is, because the reality is you're not a victim of it. And in your efforts to keep up the illusion that your little town is a Hallmark town and it's a gorgeous place to visit, you probably have written off the lived experiences of people of color who have told you the opposite.
Oh my God, y'all come to Cullman, Alabama. Oh, it's a Hallmark winter Christmas. We want to invite everybody. Well, not really everybody, because there's a little history to Cullman, Alabama, that after dark, it becomes a sundown town. What? How are we supposed to go look at the Christmas lights if it's a sundown town? I guess if you look like me, you got the complexion to provide the protection, so you're good. Come on down, y'all. Hey, y'all. Oh, look at our winter. It's a Hallmark Christmas. Yeah, it is Christmas Eve. Come on down and you can end up in a tree. What? This is what's so interesting to me. Cullman, Alabama. They're inviting everybody to come to their beautiful Hallmark town, and it looks beautiful, but it's a sundown town. And for all people who don't know what a sundown town is, that means after dark. If you don't look like me, you better get out, because it's going to get real dangerous real quick. It's been like that since the 1800s. It's been like that for a century and will continue to be like that unless somebody from Cullman, Alabama can tell us a little something different. I saw one influencer said something hilarious. She said, yeah, go on and check out the trees. You might end up an ornament. What? I mean, this is crazy. What do people really think? Is everybody welcome there? How are black people supposed to go there and see the Christmas lights at night when it's a sundown town? Have you ever seen the movie Mississippi Burning? Do you not know what we're talking about? What, Pipe Bell? So let's cool it. Let's warm it up a little bit there, Cullman, Alabama, huh? Because we know about you. We know you're a sundown town, and we will not be spending our dollars in that town.
I've lived in the South all my life. And this is about us not being able to go places. I made a post earlier this year that talked about how people want to get rid of history. And one of the reasons is that because they don't want to remember the times when their grandmas and granddaddies and whoever used to act up. There is no place in the South, because I've lived here all my life and gonna die here, that is not populated by black people, because we just don't like to be there. If there are no black people in your little southern town, because there are more black people in southern regions than any other reason in the US, it's because it's unsafe to be there. That is the only reason. We disproportionately have people who are struggling in our population, but most black people are stable. And stable black people like to go on vacation. Stable black people like southern small town living just like anybody else. But if there are no black people there, it's because it's unsafe to be there. And people like to think, oh, we're not like that anymore. When people used to make those unaliving parties, they used to send out postcards. It was entertainment. It was something for the whole family to do. They would get dressed up and they would take souvenirs from the body and take them home. You can find pictures in the newspaper and postcards about what a fun time they had in archives, because it was something that was common. And what you want to believe, or what some people want to believe, is that it was people that you could pick out, that these were dirty, angry people that no longer exist. No, it was the mayor, it was the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker in these towns, and it was a social activity. Everyone participated. And if you didn't participate in it, you were complicit. So when you have a sundown town, everyone has tacitly agreed that this is a place that is just fine, and it's a lawless place. So it's not a safe place. Those little Hallmark towns that you hear about, or that particular Hallmark town that you hear about in Alabama, now that they want to start having, make money in tourism, they want to forget forget about their past and forget about the people who still live there. Because that's not something that you just grow out of. When you are doing a party where you unalive someone and you sit down in a nice skirt and eat a nice sandwich while someone is burned, that's something you have to excise. That's something that you have to address directly. That's something that you have to shame. That's not something that just goes away. So I suggest those people take a real hard look at things, and anyone else who's thinking of going down there, don't. Not just because you don't want to support, that sort of thing, but because, like I said, it's a lawless place. You don't know what's going to happen. That nice guy that's behind the counter at the ice cream shop, you don't know what he's capable of because he's been able to be or allowed to be capable of anything.
Cullman, Alabama.
Come with me to my Hallmark-inspired hometown.
Okay, first of all, it is not Hallmark inspired. The city of Cullman, Alabama was established in 1873 by German immigrants. And as you can see, there's a few similarities. This is actually a photo taken at the Stuttgart Christmas market. So Hallmark really doesn't have anything to do with it. The town is basically embracing its German roots with regards to its Christmas market and in some of the architecture in the downtown area. There's another side to that coin. Cullman has a very, very racist history, apparently right up to the present day. And it's very noticeable when you look at the comments of that young lady's video. Case in point, feel free to pause to read, but it's pretty obvious. Ugh. And here as well. A lady posted a video recently where she was in Cullman for a wedding back in July. She's Latina, and her husband is white, and they have a child together, and it did not go well for them. Based on the comments, things have not gone well for other people as well. But in one regard, it very much does resemble Hallmark, especially their movies, in that the population of the town is 92% white. And one guy posted a video where he said that he had never seen any kind of racism in the town before. And it's very easy to say when you're a blue-eyed white boy. Keep in mind that just because you don't see something happening doesn't mean that it's not happening. It's kind of like object permanence. History's history, and facts are facts.
So Cullman, Alabama is putting Alabama back on the map in the weirdest and most ironic of ways, mainly because everybody who has ever lived in Alabama knows Cullman, Alabama as a sundown town. Mainly because when you were on the interstate going towards Cullman, there used to be a billboard that said, "Do not let the sun set on your black ass." Now this billboard has been removed from history, but a lot of people remember it. I remember it as a kid, but I think it's ironic because Cullman has decided to do like this Christmas festival, and it looks really great. It's just, the irony to me is in every video that I've seen of it, I've only seen pale people. And it's a sundown town with a history, and I'm just wondering on the PR department, where in their mind were they like, oh my god, let's advertise this German-themed Christmas in our town. It's not like it could go wrong. Put it everywhere on social media. Completely forgetting the fact that A, you were known as a sundown town, and B, you chose a German theme for your Christmas, not realizing that Germans also kind of used to have a little bit of history and not liking people, if you catch my drift. So it's just the irony for me, because I can't only imagine the PR people for Cullman, Alabama, reading the comments, seeing the videos, seeing everything just like going up in smoke, while also somehow being super advertised that there's a lot of people wanting to go to this regardless of the fact that it's a sundown town. Because, don't get me wrong, it looks amazing. I'm curious about it. But I know good and goddamn well, as a Jewish person, Cullman, Alabama is not where I need to go. And I understand in the last decade or so there's been a lot of things that have changed, and that's great. But the history still remains.
The thing about Cullman, Alabama that is so dangerous is that it was very effective in its marketing to make sure that it stays a town for people that look like Colby. That's what a sundown town is. The last issue where a person became an ornament in a tree in Cullman happened in 1981. And that means that was 45 years. And you'll see people in the comments saying, that's like so long ago, why are we still talking about it? Because they did such a good job of making sure that we never go back. That's why sundown towns are still effective. The mayors, the sheriffs, everyone around there is working hard to make sure that it stays the Hallmark ideal, which is 92% white. A sundown town is very dangerous for people who might not understand what it is when you're not American. I grew up in Indiana, 30 minutes away from another sundown town, and it was drilled in my head because when I got a car, I was driving, and I was running low on gas, and I called my mom, and she was so mad at me. She was livid, yelling, and she's like, where the fuck are you? What city is it? Where are you? I told her, luckily it was like a Springfield, which is not that crazy, and she said, if you ever leave the periphery of where you live and you're going through Indiana, you need to make sure you have gas so you don't stop in this town. Because if you get pulled over by the cops, I don't know if you're going to end up another statistic. I don't know if you're going to be Breonna Taylor .2, okay? That's why this is so dangerous. We are talking about how horrible this marketing is because it is efficient in erasing the history that has happened in sundown towns. It is dangerous for people who look like me. It is disingenuous for you to say that you've never experienced it because you know exactly what we're talking about. And the reason I know you know is because when you talk about who's visiting, you don't talk about black people, you don't talk about Americans, you talk about people from out of the country coming to visit to give your town money so you can continue to perpetuate the white supremacy that is running Cullman, Alabama. If you are, for some reason, genuinely trying to make a change into your small town, there's a lot more time and a lot more issues that you have to deal with, my dear love. So much more that you have to do work. If you are looking at these videos and thinking that it is crazy, like, the fact that we're just talking about it has given them a lot of money, a lot of clout, and now that town is going to be circulating, and there are Proud Boys. We're going to go and give them money. So the mayor wins. They win regardless of if we realize what they are or if we don't. But to all my black and brown people, stay safe. It's good to share this message of where we are safe and where we're not, and if you have not looked it up, please do. It's really dangerous.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm from Cullman, Alabama. I have not once in the 24 years of living here experienced one racist situation. So I don't know if it's like a generational thing. Back in the day, yes, I know back in the day it was a little bit different, but we were in 2024, and I just want to point out that anybody, any person of color, black, white, whatever you are more than welcome in Cullman, Alabama. I don't know why it is such a topic right now, such a negative topic, that people of color are not welcome here, and that is a sundown town, because like I said, could not be farther from the truth.
What this man just said, yeah, it's not even worth Bible paper, okay? There's a plethora of people who are not palm-colored saying otherwise. Him stating that he hasn't experienced any type of racism, well, duh, have you looked in the mirror? This man is palm-colored with blue eyes. You're going to tell black folks and people like me that your town is not a sundown town? Be so for real. Again, I reiterate, there are people, all right, not just black folks, okay? You have other palm-colored people stating, yeah, that is a sundown town. Do not go there. And people calling it, oh, it's a Hallmark Christmas town. Hear what they're saying. Hallmark Christmas town. Now picture a Hallmark movie. Who are the main people on there? Please. Like, leave it to palm-colored people to come onto this app, defend said town, Cullman, Alabama, and on top of that, negate the lived experience of black folks in that area and say they do not know nor comprehend or understand why Cullman has this reputation. Please take a history class. Hit them books. As for me, you ain't gotta tell me twice. You're telling me that Cullman, Alabama is a sundown town? I ain't going. Matter of fact, I'm never gonna go into Alabama. Point blank, period. What's down there? Nothing, in my opinion. I'm gonna stay my merry Latina ass here in New York City, go down to Bryant Park and its village, go to the market in Union Square, go to Rockefeller Center, and have a jolly Christmas in New York City, okay?
Listen, y'all, I love y'all to death. But boycotting a place that only people that live there and people that lived in the surrounding areas knew about, it's crazy work. In that short amount of time, y'all have promoted Cullman, Alabama more than it has ever been promoted in its entire existence. They used your voice to promote a festival, come on down to the holiday festival. Now it's gonna be packed because y'all have promoted it, trying to prove that it's a sundown town. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck if it's a sundown town? Nobody's going there. Nobody has. What other reason would we have to go there? None. They simply use us for engagement yet again. And not only that, now I see that y'all are also holding panels to have discussions about Cullman, Alabama. Make it make sense. Out of all the stuff in the world that is going on, y'all are sitting up here talking about Cullman, Alabama. Oh, okay.
Why are y'all acting surprised about Cullman trying to rebrand as a Christmassy town? Of course Christmas is their favorite time of year. The sun goes down at 5.
Hey y'all. So I'm sure y'all have all been seeing the Christmas market, Chris Kindle Mart here in Cullman, Alabama, the Hallmark town. I'm sure y'all have all been seeing the post on TikTok about it. So first and foremost, just wanted to point out that I do live here in Cullman, Alabama. The Christmas market is absolutely beautiful. We have people from out of the country that have traveled to experience the Hallmark Christmas town here. It is one of the biggest in the world. I think it's like number 3 or 4 in the world. So lots of people, like I said, have traveled from out of the country, from states away, to come experience this Hallmark town and how we put it together, and it's just a beautiful experience. But anyway, I've been seeing so many TikToks posted, a lot of negative commentary on Cullman, Alabama, saying how it's a sundown town, and that, you know, people of color are not welcome here, and that they're going to be shunned upon basically if they step foot in Cullman, Alabama, which could not be farther from the truth. I don't know, like I said, I'm from Cullman, Alabama. I have not once in the 24 years of living here experienced one racist situation. So I don't know if it's like a generational thing. Back in the day, yes, I know back in the day it was a little bit different, but we are in 2024, and I just want to point out that any person of color, black, white, whatever you are more than welcome in Cullman, Alabama. I don't know why it is such a topic right now, such a negative topic, that people of color are not welcome here and that it is a sundown town, because like I said, could not be farther from the truth. Like, y'all, I've been seeing post after post, TikTok after TikTok, Instagram reel after Instagram reel on all these negative talks on Cullman. And like I said, y'all, it is 2024. Like, come on, get up to date. Like, it is no longer what it used to be. So with all that being said, clearing the air, thanks for listening. Hope this gets into some of y'all's heads, especially the ones that don't even live here or not even from Alabama, because you don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, have a great day. Love ya.
Cullman, Alabama is a town that looks like it's straight out of a Hallmark Christmas movie in the holidays. With its Christmas markets and festive charm, it's easy to see why so many people are drawn to this town when it's, the festive season. But guys, that's where it ends, because beneath the glittering lights and the cheerful decor lies a very dark history. A story of how Cullman, Alabama has a history of being a sundown town, a place where black people were exclusively and explicitly unwelcome after dark. Now this story has sparked backlash, especially from black Americans who feel that the town is trying to erase its history by rebranding itself as some kind of, Christmas wonderland. Now, for those of you who might not know what a sundown town is, sundown towns were places all across America where black people and sometimes minority group of people were openly threatened, harassed, and even sometimes unalived if they were found within the city limits after sunset. And Cullman, Alabama was one of these towns, and for years it was known as a place where black people did not feel safe. And many people alive today, especially black people, still remember that kind of history. When you layer that kind of history with a picture perfect Christmas market, you start to see why many people are feeling that this town is trying to bury its past under the fake snow and twinkling lights. Now, these Christmas markets are inspired by traditional German Christmas markets where you have vendors, food, music, and decorations that create this magical storybook vibe. Now guys, while this is a good thing for the town, many people of color actually still alive can remember how it feels like when these towns were still sundown towns. I was doing some research and I asked myself, what is the broader implication of this? This brings up the question, how should these towns with histories like Cullman's, where they were sundown towns in the past, deal with their past? Is it enough to move forward and host events like this? Or do they have an obligation to acknowledge the full story? Because when you ignore history, you are really not moving forward. And this isn't just Cullman's issue. All over the US, towns with histories of exclusion and segregations are facing similar challenges. The question is, how do we balance celebrating traditions while still holding space for truth and accountability? Because guys, let's be honest, without acknowledging history, any kind of progress feels hollow and very shallow. Now, to be fair guys, let's consider what Cullman might say in defense. From the town's perspective, the Christmas markets might just be a way to bring people together, boost the local economy, and spread some holiday cheer. But good intentions don't erase bad optics. And as far as I can tell guys, there is little to no effort from Cullman to confront or acknowledge its history as a sundown town, and it's hard to move forward when you won't even look back. So I feel guys that this Christmas market is not just a holiday for fun. I feel that it might be a bigger and broader action, an effort to erase the past from the fact that this town has a bad history and a bad reputation for being a sundown town, a segregative town against people of color and black people in general. Because guys, at the end of the day, history doesn't go away just because you don't talk about it. And if you are serious about building inclusive communities, then we need to demand accountability, not just from places like Cullman, but from us all, as one people. So what do you think guys? Should towns like Cullman, Alabama, and these other sundown towns be held accountable for their histories, even during something seemingly innocent as a Christmas market? Or is this backlash too much and unwarranted for? Let me know in the comments guys. If you are new to this channel, kindly like the video, subscribe, and let me know in the comment of your opinion about today's episode. Thank you very much for choosing us today and listening this far guys. As always, see you on the next episode.